as they won against Young Apostles. And also, Baby Any Gold Stars going all the way to Pando to get a win against Heart of Lions, meaning that they've also closed the gap further on Medeama. So a lot of drama in match day 23. We'll review all that and look at what is coming up in match day 24, because Asante Kotoko, they would be at home as they play host to Vision, and there's a huge game at the dance park because Heart of Folk will make a trip to Baby Any. A lot to look forward to. My name is Mutale Yakobo, and this is the GPL Build-Up Show here on TV3. We'll take a quick breather. We will be right back.
At long last, the battle has ended. And thus, Ghana, your beloved country, is free forever.
Ghana, are you ready? The Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, in collaboration with the National Theatre and Media General, presents the Freedom Night, your night of ultimate entertainment with great performances by the National Symphony Orchestra, the National Dance Ensemble, and the Ebibi Groma Group. There shall also be a reenactment of the Independence Declaration by the Ga Actors Guild. Top it all off with electrifying comedy.
Welcome back from that break. You're still watching the GPO Build-Up Show here on TV3. As you know, my name is Mutale Yakobo. I've been joined by two gentlemen who understand the Ghana Premier League to the core. Felix Romack, data and statistics analyst, here with us, and also Francis Aboyibo Blackgate. They will be doing the discussion on the games that have been played and also preview what is coming up in match day 24. But before that, let's do a recap and watch highlights of match day 23. Welcome back from that break where you saw the highlights from match day 23. Refreshing one, a lot of goals were scored, but Hearts of Oak drew blank against Berekum Chelsea. Not a good one for the Phobians. The fans were very frustrated at the end of that game, but Asante Kotoko bouncing back to winning ways. But quickly, let's glance through the fixtures coming up for match day 24 and how things are shaping up, because we have some interesting games to look forward to. Where 11 Wonders will be coming up against the Nations FC, and Asante Kotoko, they will be at home as they take on Vision FC. Sweden All Blacks, Kasim Mingo, he has a date against Medeama FC. There's Dreams against Aduana FC. Baseke Holy Stars will take on Heart of Lions. Hoho United, they would be playing at home as they welcome the formidable Samatex team. Berekum Chelsea would go back to the Golden City Park to host Young Apostles. And at the Dance Park, it's really a gigantic game because Berekum Gold Stars will be hosting Hearts of Oak, and Berekum United would also be taking on Karela in that one. Let's quickly take a look at the table and how things are shaping up at the moment, because we know that Medeama are on top of the table with 45 points after that draw that they had against Samatex. They are still leading the pack. Berekum Gold Stars are second with 42 points. Hearts of Oak, after their draw, also have moved to third on 40 points. And Asante Kotoko getting back to winning ways now are fourth on the table with 38 points. Aduana also have 38 and occupy fifth with Samatex on sixth, currently with 36 points. Karela, Heart of Lions, and Vision following suit on 7th, 8th, and 9th, respectively, with Berekum United occupying 10th on 29, same as Baseke Holy Stars, who are 11th with 29. Nations are 12th with 28. Dreams FC are 13th with 27 points. All Blacks also have 27 and are 14. Berekum Chelsea, after gaining the points against Hearts of Oak, are also 15th with 27 points. Young Apostles, Hoho United, and 11 Wonders currently find themselves in the drop zone. So let's get into the conversation proper and start off with a bit of a recap of what happened on Sunday. Now, Hearts of Oak fans are saying there's too much inconsistencies with the team, Felix.
And I totally agree. I totally agree with what they are saying, especially in terms of their home performance. It's quite disappointing that for every good thing that Hearts of Oak are doing away, at home is where they are struggling. And, they have every right to be bitter about the performance of the team at home, especially at the Legon Sports, Legon Sports Stadium. In the last 3 matches, they've dropped how many points? 6 points against teams that are struggling, Berekum United, Dreams FC, and then Samuel Boydou's Berekum Chelsea. And in the 3, they haven't even scored a goal. So, it's very difficult. And it's also very difficult for the coach as well. And if you look at their performance, you see, it is unique to see a team after 23 matches conceding just 7 goals. After 23 matches, the team have not conceded in 18 out of the 23 matches. Mutala, that is quite impressive. I'm sure during the course of the English Premier League, we're talking about how Arsenal were on a road to beating Chelsea's 15 goals conceded in the season. But Hearts of Oak could probably end the Ghana Premier League conceding less than maybe 15 goals in the season, which will be remarkable. Defense wins you title, but goals wins you game. And Hearts of Oak is struggling to do that. But then again, I don't want to go hard on the coach, because any coach in this position will currently struggle. Because this is a team that is under a transfer embargo. They can't sign players. So probably in December, you knew very well the problem of the team, which is goal scoring. But you can't go to the market and buy players because there's been a transfer embargo or a transfer a stop on you, so you can't buy players. And that is the reason why it is one department that the team has struggled to beef up. About some years ago, we saw Hearts of Oak struggling with goalkeeping, where even at games, you don't know if you were starting at his, what's the name, Richard Ofori. No, I'm talking about them. Yeah. Richard Ofori, Richmond Ayi, Richard Atta. You don't know who was starting, but look at their goalkeeping situation now.
There's stability now.
Solid. No, even if you don't have Benjamin Asari in post, there is Solomon Agbesi that comes in. Look at the back four of Adamu, Beifi, Ali Mohammed, and then Kevin Osesibe. It's been solid. There's consistency there. You talk about the midfield. Afrani, the back four is so choked that Afrani is now even pushing to the defensive midfield position where he's playing with Hussein and probably Abdul Karim. But up front, yesterday we saw Asafo playing with Kakari, playing with Maoli Wayo, and then Aduku. But look at them, there was no mobility in the team. So it's very difficult. Mutala, you can't play 14 games at home as a team that is chasing for the title. And then you've won only 4 of those matches at home. It is bad. It is very, very bad. So I understand how the fans are, the agitation, the complaints and all that. Yes, you can talk about the playing body, but it is difficult for a coach like Masaudi Dramani to sort the problem out when he didn't get the opportunity to go to the transfer market and beef up the attacking instinct of the club. So it's quite difficult. See, if Asafo are able to finish in the top 4, I think we should give credit to the coach, especially with the situation that he finds himself in.
Well, Felix believes that this will be a huge achievement for Hartlepool to finish in the top 4. With the likes of Prince Kwabena, Hamza in the Hartlepool are not scoring the goals and have relied heavily on set pieces. Now, I mean, since we've started with Hartlepool, let's talk about the upcoming game against BBN Gold Stars. They are going to the Dance Park. Gold Stars went to Heart of Lions, picked up valuable 3 points, and are going home for that game, knowing that Medeama will be going to Swedro All Blacks. Hartlepool drew 2-2 with them in the first leg. Second leg, all to play for at the Dance Park.
Yeah, well, you look at match week 23, actually, the biggest winners has to be BBN Gold Stars because prior to the kickoff, they were trailing the league leaders by 5 points, but they reduced that deficit to 2 points as it stands now because they went to the Den.
It's 3 now.
It's 3 now, sorry. They went to the Den and then defeated Pandu Heart of Lions against all odds. They trailed at halftime, came back into the second half, got 2 goals. And the winning goal, if we saw on the highlight, you saw the counter-attack deep into stoppage time, the way Kumi managed to show calmness and composure. And he, at the end of the day, ended winning man of the match in that particular game. So you look at Gold Stars, this season, you will say, against the big boys there, they didn't beat Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Medeama managed to get a point of them. But for Hearts of Folk, they're the best away team in the division this season. It's their home form that is creating much problems for them. But for Gold Stars, we are at the business end of the season now. And if you look at them, they've shown a track record of them managing to wrap up the league in the business end of the season because they are the defending champions of the league. With all due respect, I think we pundits or journalists this season never actually gave them the kind of mileage or respect that they deserve because we were looking at Medeama, looking at Kotoko, looking at Hearts of Folk and thinking that the 3 of them were going to have a 3-horse race. But out of nowhere, they've come through the window and they're now showing us that, hey, it is our league to lose. We are the defending champions. And now we can have a proper crack at the title challenge together with Medeama. And Medeama is beginning to feel the pressure. Now they'll be playing against All Blacks, like you said. In Swedro, it can go anywhere. But for Gold Stars against Hearts of Folk, it's another cracker. For Hearts of Folk, they failed to pick up the 3 maximum points against Berekum Chelsea. They would love to bounce back. And if there's any team that you get scared of or if you're playing against them in terms of an away fixture, then definitely got to be the Phobians.
And there's any game that I can predict that could easily end in the draw is this one, Felix.
But then again, Hearts of Folk are going to a Den.
Last season, they got a draw there. It ended 1-1.
In fact, they haven't won in their last 7 games. They haven't won their last 7 against BBN Gold Stars. And the Miners find themselves in a very good position. You see, defending the league title is always difficult. Only a few teams have done that. Kwame Nkrumah's Republicans, Hearts of Folk, Kumasi Asante Kotoko. It is quite, difficult. But then again, I think that BBN Gold Stars, I think what has really worked for them, and like Francis said, a lot of pressure was not put on them as defending champions to defend the league. So kind of, nobody's talking about me. Let me just do my things quietly. But now you look at the league table, they are in second place. And that game, if they really want to be title contenders or be in a position to defend the league title, they need to start winning games. They are yet to lose a game at home this season. The last time they lost to a Premier League side was in the Super Cup.
Yeah.
The game I think you covered in BBN when they lost to Kumasi, Asante Kotoko. But at home, they've been quite impressive. They've been quite solid. And I think that they will give us a very tough time.
2 coaches have come in. I mean, Frimpong Manso left. Then we had Nanaya Mankwa taking charge. After a few games, they brought in a Swiss manager, which many feel was not the right decision. But the handlers of the team, Kwesiedu, the CEO, has defended that decision and says that the coach had come in, he needed time to settle.
And clearly we are saying it. They are back into the title, charge. And I think that, sometimes when things are not going well for your team, all you need to do is quickly sort it out before it gets out of hand. And that is exactly what they've done. At the start of the season, they didn't do well during the start of the season. They went into Africa as Ghana representative in the CAF Champions League. Things didn't go well for them. They got battered in Africa and then shifted the concentration into defending the title. And so far, it's been very good for them. Mutala, you really need to have a very good run at home if you want to win the league. You need to take points from your title contenders if you are even playing them away from home. There are some venues you need to go and pick up points. And I think that going to Pando to pick up that 3 maximum point against Heart of Lion would be a huge boost for them coming into the game against one of the best, or in fact the best traveling team in the Ghana Premier League.
Heart of Oak have been very solid at the back. It's our fronts where they are having issues. But one other team that has been free scoring is Medeama. But in the last 2 games, they've had trouble. They drew with Aduana in the match day 22. Then they drew against Samatek. This is a team that they've never defeated in Insitue, but they managed to get a point there. Their next game is against Kasim Mengel's Swedru All Blacks at the Swedru Sports Stadium.
Well, Mutala, you look at this season, the most consistent team in terms of how they've gone about their business in the league this season is the league leaders, Medeama SC. At a point in time, they went about 17 matches without tasting defeat, prior to they losing at Abrankese to Nations FC. Then they tried to bounce back against Aduana Stars in a game that I think in the first half they played very well, broke the deadlock through the evergreen, Salim Adams, with a thunderbolt to open the scoring for them. Then the heavens opened. Rains were pouring left, right, center, and Sana in the second half got the equalizer. When the game got rained off and restarted the following day, they had a stoppage time penalty, which they couldn't convert. Then they had to improvise. Hearts of Oak, Aduana, all those guys didn't manage to pick up the point, so they had to go again. But if you look at what they are doing, if there's any team that can take your eyes off this season, then it has to be Medeama SC. And against a newly promoted team in Swedru All Blacks, it's not going to be easy because at the Swedru Park, we've seen how, I think if, without mincing words, they are the best, most supported team in the league this season. Every single game that they played at home, sold out, maximum capacity turnout to watch the games, and they make the ambience very hostile for away teams to come and play in. But
I mean, they are missing the Ghana Premier League. If you play in Division 1 for 16 years and your team comes back, you want to be at the stadium every single time.
Yeah, you love to be there, but sometimes you have to mince that with the performances. And I think they've been trying their best to be able to grind out the results. But if you look at Medeama, last weekend against Samatex, like you said, Samatex themselves very stubborn at home to beat. And ever since Christopher Enin took over the helms of affairs, they've not lost a single game at the Central Park. So going there, Medeama knew very well that their best could be a draw. So they half and puff. They tried through different variety to be able to carve them open, but they couldn't. So at the end of the day, the game ended in a 0-0 stalemate over last week Sunday. It's a positive point gain on board. So now they'll have to build the momentum all over again. And Coach Ibrahim Tanko and his boys, if you look at them play across the division this season, they don't play at any venue as if they are scared. They always open up, play their normal free-flowing game, and try to play their normal game and score. So if it doesn't work, you will never get a boring game out of them. So I think it will be a cracking game, entertaining football, loaded over the course of 90-plus minutes in Swedru.
So Kasim Mengel has been in charge of this Swedru All Blacks team for the past 4 weeks. He's lost 3, he's won 1, coming back to play in front of the home crowd against the league leaders who don't have any option than to win or get at least a point from this one.
It's going to be tough, but I think that for Swedru All Blacks, they qualified to the Premier League from Zone 2 on the back that they had a lot of people coming out to support them. In fact, when they were in Division 1, they didn't lose a game at home, and that's quite impressive. And if you go to the Stradale Sports Stadium, it is always going to be a very tough game. They've lost only 2 games there this season, against BBN Gold Stars and then against Aduana, who won 2-0 there. But see, they need to survive, and that is exactly what they have in mind, and that is the reason why they brought in an experienced manager like Kasim Mingo. If you look at the league table, they are just a point off the bottom 3. So it means that they need to start picking points at home. Medeama themselves have done quite well. They have lost only 2 games away. They lost, I think, against Karela, and then I think last 2 is when they lost 2-1 against Nations FC. It's going to be a very tight game. But Mutala, this is the business end of the season. We have 11 games to end the season. If you want to win the league, you need to show consistency. If you want to survive the drop, you need to show consistency. So I love the fact that we are in such a situation where there is no more easy games. We can all admit the fact that 11 wonders are gone. But from the 17th, and in fact, if you look
I'm not sure now Manuel will be happy with you with
but that's a fact. I don't see how they will survive with only 9 points.
If you've covered this
9 points.
Sometime, 9 points.
Extremely difficult for them. It will take a miracle.
Of course. Yeah. And if you have to go per the stats in previous or the last 5 seasons, the only team that has avoided the drop as at now is Medeama and Gold Stars. Okay. Because you need about 41, 42 points to be safe. And they currently are safe. It tells you how tight things are. But I think that for Stradale All Blacks, this is a game that they can't afford to lose. And looking at the experience of Coach Kasim Mingo, I think that the best for Medeama in this game will be a draw.
Not only not affording to lose this game, one thing the people of Stradale will not take lightly is the team going back to Division 1, because they've worked tirelessly throughout the 16 years to ensure that All Blacks gets to the Premier League level. One team that seemed to have taken its foot off the gas a bit is Aduana. What is happening with Chuba Aristika? They are playing Dreams FC. At a point, we all thought the league was going to Doma.
Well, but Mutala, I think that I want to give credit first to my very good friend Atapoku. Collins is done quite well.
Extremely well.
Well,
with the image and the brand that he's built for this Aduana team.
Perfectly. In terms of support. Last year we saw the attendance at the Nana Jimambedu Park in Doma. It wasn't something to really write home about, but this time he's been able to canvas for support. He's been very interactive with the people in Doma. They are supporting the team. The fact is, they've played very tough games, in the league this season. In the FA Cup, they went to Kumasi and then won against Kumasi Asante Kotoko on penalties. They went to the Takwati and APAC Stadium to play against Medeama, a game that was rain off. They came back and got a point. They were playing against Hoho United. Francis's Hoho United. Hoho United find themselves in a position where they need to start getting points. So it was definitely going to be a very tough game for them. But I think that they are playing in such a way that they really want to get hold on the trophy this season. Probably the FA Cup, or maybe give it a good shot at themselves for the league title. But they are not yet out of the title race. I think that it's only about 9 points that separates themselves and then the league leaders. And we have 33 more points to play. But they also need to start showing some consistency if they really want to win the league.
So they are coming to the south to play Dreams FC. Now, Dreams themselves are not completely out of the woods. I mean, if you look at the league, from the 10th position downwards, every team can still...
Even to Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
Yeah, every team can still go down. Dreams FC are in need of points. This is not going to be an easy game for Aduana.
Well, you look at Dreams FC this season, especially at the Tuba Astroturf. Whenever they take you to Tuba, it's like a fortress, it's like a den, a no-go zone area. Only about 2 or 3 teams managed to survive at the Tuba Astroturf. Any other team that played against them there, they managed to put them to the sword. And John Entry happens to be the live wire of this team. Anytime they are struggling and he comes back to the club, he always found a way to be able to help push them away from relegation. So it's either he's scoring or he's creating an assist for the young chaps to score. Against Hearts of Folk, we saw how they played very well. It was due to the ingenuity of goalkeeper Benjamin Asari. That's how come the Hearts of Folk managed to get that draw against them. In a game that I thought they scored a legitimate goal, but the linesman chopped off the goal at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. You look at the Aduana Stars, like Felix summed up earlier. They've been blowing hot and cold. They've not shown so much consistency in terms of how they approach the games. Today, you see an Aduana Stars team that will turn up explosive, firing on all cylinders. They maximize, squeeze the pitch, play their normal free-flowing game. Chuba Aristika's approach, you shouldn't allow your opponent to have bigger chunk of the ball, play in their faces. cover every single inch blade of the grass out there on the pitch. And that's exactly what they've been doing. I saw them at the Old West Sports Stadium, where in the second half, they bossed the game, dominated the game, showed so much composure, calmness, in terms of exactly what they want to replicate on the pitch, and they managed to win the game. Then you expect them to build some momentum, but they go again, and then you see a different side. Against Vision FC, we thought they were going to beat Vision, because prior to that game, they won about 3 games, but they went to Doma. This season, shockingly, it's at the Doma Park that you see them drop some points that you never expected them.
Yeah.
Yes, in match week 23 against Howe United. Howe United were not good travelers in the Ghana Premier League. So people were expecting them to beat Howe United at the back of that valuable point that they picked from Takwa. But they couldn't manage to win the game. And that has been the frustration of the fans of the Jar Boys. Against Dreams FC, I always say any team that plays against Dreams on the home turf of Dreams FC always stand a chance of losing the game, because Dreams always find a way to win the games at home. So it will be tough. If you look at the position of Dreams FC on the league table, they are not safe.
Yeah.
So they are not playing with any point at all in terms of their home form. They'll always love to come and win the game. So it will be a tough game over the course of 90 minutes. But at the end of the day, I expect Dreams FC to win the game.
You talked about not being safe. One of your teams, the team that you work for in the Volta region, is also not safe. Heart of Lions. What is wrong with them? They sold dreams to people when they started the season. About 6 games, the first 6 games of the season, they were the best team, scoring goals for fun, blowing away everyone. Then there was a downward spiral. Yep. Since then, they've not been able to hold their own. And again, it was even compounded by that defeat to maybe any Gold Stars.
Well, you look at Hearts of Lions, I've always said this, that in terms of the structure of the club, it's not off the pitch. That is the distraction. It is on-pitch distraction. Because per diems don't delay, winning bonuses don't delay, salaries don't delay. When you are going to camp, the feeding, the camp routine, like normal things that should be catered.
So if the players are provided with all this, what then is the problem? Because they were performing well.
Listen to Coach Bashir Hayford when they lost at Abrankese to Nations.
Yeah.
He said he felt like the senior players are becoming overcomplacent in the team. Because when Heart of Lions started, the team that they came into the season with this season, they've augmented the strength of the team from last season when they finished 2nd in the Ghana Premier League. So we were all thinking that they will go a step further. That is to have a proper crack at winning the Ghana Premier League. This season, when we all did our top 4 finishes, I rated Heart of Lions to win the Ghana Premier League because I thought they have Efsin, who they got from Sarmatex.
He's still around.
He is around.
Yeah.
He's the top scorer of the team in the league.
It's only 2 players who have left the club.
You look at Chauncey Freeman is there. Then you look at Echedogli, who came to join one of the finest box-to-box midfielders in the league this season. But when the league season got into match week 7, the moment they played Hearts of Oak in Accra and they drew, went to BBN, lost that game by 3 goals, then the problem of the club started. They went 8 matches without winning and it is only Heart of Lions that can go 8 matches in the Ghana Premier League and they still stuck with their manager without firing him. In the match against Kumasi Asante Kotoko, they evoked memories of the Heart of Lions that we knew of the past. Played very well, bossed the game, beat Kumasi Asante Kotoko at Kpando Sports Stadium. Then we thought they were going to come back into their shell, build some momentum. Then, topsy-turvy. Just on match week 23, we saw them against BBN Gold Stars. They took the lead in the first half. We thought they were going to build on that in the second half. They came back into the second half. Then everything got shattered. Gold Stars bossed them, created the chances, scored in the dying embers of the game to win. So for Heart of Lions, this season, the league is gone. Now, if they want to go into Africa, they just have to be pragmatic about their approach in the MTN FA Cup. Because they are in the quarterfinals, they can have a crack through that route and then see if they can be able to qualify. But for now, mathematically, I don't think... Mathematically, yes, the points are up there for grabs. But based on reality, I don't think they can go into Africa by winning the Ghana Premier League.
Felix, there are some venues in the Ghana Premier League that I always tell people that even if you bring Real Madrid and Barcelona, and the teams decide to turn up on the day, you can lose. One of such venues is in the Nzima land, where Baseke Holy Stars play. They are coming up against Heart of Lions. I'll be extremely surprised if Heart of Lions should win that game. Because if Baseke Holy Stars themselves are in dire need of points to move further away from the relegation zone, it's going to be an extremely difficult game for Bashir Hayford.
Very, and in that particular area, they live up for the big games. A lot of the big teams have gone there this season, and then they failed to even pick up a point. And like Francis said, they sum up a lot of the issues with Lions. I think that, yes, they brought in players, but it's been the same starting 11 that has been playing for the team. And sometimes fatigue.
So when I asked Bashir Hereford after that defeat to Heart of to Baby Any Gold Stars, what was really the problem? He said most of the boys are swollen-headed because they were getting all the praises in the first 6 weeks. Everyone in Ghana was talking about them. The media was waxing lyrical about how brilliant they were, and it got into their head. That is what he believes was the problem of the team.
You see, it is also on the backdrop that last season they finished well in the league. Second in the league. So definitely you want to improve. You want to go above what you did last season. But then again, you know, if you have a bigger squad and a lot of the senior players are solely netted, what you have to do is to swap in and bring in players that are really ready to play. But then again, you don't have a very larger squad, so you have to be content and go with what is available. And I think that is one of the reasons why we are not seeing the consistency from Lions. But Holy Star at home, it's a very difficult venue to go. They've played some few teams there, the big teams, in fact, and they've gotten maximum point. They are not safe from the drop. If you look at where they are on the league log, they are 11, 28 points. But then again, the 17th team, which is Ho United, are 24th on the league log. It's just 3 points. They need to start picking points at home. I've always been saying this.
At long last, the battle has ended. And thus, Ghana, your beloved country, is free forever.
Ghana, are you ready? The Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, in collaboration with the National Theatre and Media General, presents the Freedom Night, your night of ultimate entertainment with great performances by the National Symphony Orchestra, the National Dance Ensemble, and the Ebibi Groma Group. There shall also be a reenactment of the Independence Declaration by the Ghana Actors Guild. Top it all off with electrifying comedy by our MC, Lexi the Comic. Date:
5th March 2026.
time:
6:30 p.m. sharp.
see you there.
Land of freedom, toils of the brave, and the sweat of their labor.
Talk because
Ever your mindset is, if you want to do well in the league, your home should be your
But
fortress.
honestly,
And that is-
there's been some bit of improvement with the Holy Stars since Johnson Smith
Of course,
took charge
that is
of
a
the
fact.
team.
That is a fact.
Is it one of the coaches that is underrated in Ghana?
Well, Mutala, if I have to be very honest with you, probably it's not personal, but I think that officially he's somebody who is coaching the team without a CAF license A. And that is why officially on team sheet you see him as assistant,
Yeah.
and then you have the former
Augustine
Adote
yeah.
as the coach, though he doesn't sit on the bench. So it is quite a bit difficult, but I think that he has so much experience looking at where he's coming from, working with nations, he's worked with Kumasi, Asante Kotoko, and now with Holy Stars. And you've seen the performance from the team and how he's getting the best out of a lot of the players, especially Prince Trinidad, the 17-year-old, 19-year-old boy who is playing quite well for them. In fact, he's their top scorer in the league this season.
He's obviously their best player.
Yes, and I heard him pushing for the national team callers to have him in the national team, which I think is too early though. But I think that he would be able to get the team survive the draw. But they have to start winning some of these games, and I think they will do that against Lions.
So from Lions, let's talk about the other voter team, Ho United. Match day 1, drew against Heart of Oak. A lot of people were like, okay, this is the real deal. Ho United has come to stay. Currently, they are in the relegation zone, and they look like they may go down if they don't start picking up points. They are coming up against a team that barely concedes in Samatex FC.
Mutala, the story of Ho United, it's quite disappointing because
How have they gone from here to here?
I think it has to be administratively, and one of the reasons being that they are bringing in players that don't have the Ghana Premier League experience, and sometimes when you are a newly promoted team, you have a lot of people pushing players to you and telling you they can help your team and all that. Players that have come in have not really helped the team. And I was thinking that when they were in Zone 3 of the Division 1 League, they will build on that success that they had in terms of the home fortress, where a lot of people will come and support them. this is a club that have money, so I don't think they have issues with wages or all of that. But I was thinking that they will have some momentum at home and pick up some valuable points at home to aid in their survival. But where they find themselves, it is going to be very, very difficult. But Mutala, how many clubs will go to Doma and pick up points? I think they did that in March of 23. And if they really want to survive, if their main aim is to survive, they should build on that point that they got, at the Nanajiman Bedu Park in Doma.
Like it's you work closely with them. What is the problem? Tell us.
The problem of Hongwe United is simple. Put the ball at the back of the net. You and I, we've covered their matches extensively, and I can tell you one thing. They play good football, build from the back, expand onto the wings. They get up front. It's the House of Oak problem. They brought in Lawson Bekwe against Aduana.
The former Dreams FC
striker. Against Aduana in the dying embers of the game. 1v1 with the goalkeeper. Blew it apart. See, I've been covering the Ghana Premier League. One game that I watched that stood out for me, and it's like I always borrow the terms of Jose Mourinho. Fear football, but football can betray you on any given day. The game against BBN Gold Stars, 75 minutes of that game was played in the half of Gold Stars at the Howard Sports Stadium. Carved out premium chances after chances, but the ball wouldn't just hit the back of the net. At the end of the day, they ended up losing the game by 1-0. And that sums up the situation with Coach Tijani, their former manager. And I felt like he did a decent job, but football luck didn't just smile on him. In the January transfer window, like he said, they've augmented the strength of the team. Bangura, Lawson Bekwe, Chireme. Brilliant players by all standards. When they play, it's a thing of beauty. But it's all about you being consistent in front of goal, put the ball at the back of the net. Financially, the club is stable. Honorable John Peter Amewu, he will even pay the players 2 months ahead because he doesn't want you to come and complain about wages. So he has already paid you 2 months' salary. If you're supposed to take 2,000 a month,
but he
wants you to have your freedom.
I wouldn't even focus. I'll come into a game thinking about the fact that we give me 2 months' salary.
But Mutala,
winning bonus as well,
the winning bonus is
you get a lot. Felix, you and I know how players spend.
Mutala, I'm telling you, in terms of Koko United's winning bonus, the locker room bonus comes from bet power, just after winning games. The man tops it up, extra money that I can't mention to you. So the players are catered for. In terms of where they sleep, they don't sleep in a clubhouse. They sleep at Hampton Court. And you know the hotel where they did the presser when they were about to kickstart the first one.
I know that result.
All the players are there now. They are being fed morning, afternoon, evening. So that's the reason why some of the fans sometimes get agitated and speak a lot when the results are not going well. You have a dedicated stadium. You have a team bus that conveys you every day to training in and out. Koko United player, let me tell you on record, none of them pays for utilities, light bill, water bill. None of them pays rent. None of them pays for their food. So it's like 360. The club is managed properly by Edem and Co.
So they are comfortable.
That is how someone will say they are comfortable, but they need.
But Karim Zito says that sometimes too much comfort makes you too relaxed.
And they don't give out their best.
Not serious
but
enough.
I am telling you that with 11 games to go, 24 points, they are hanging in, they are fighting. They beat
But genuinely, do you think they would survive?
Genuinely, I think Owe United will survive.
Because the stadium is always full.
I am telling you that if you look at this, see, they have dreams to go to Hawaii. Swedru All Blacks will play them in Swedru. Berekum Chelsea will go to Hawaii. They will play Young Apostles. So in the mini league, all those that they are playing against, they will have to play them. So Mutala, if you and I are going, we are in the ship to die. And we have to fight against you. You have your destiny in your hands.
Well, we can't be in the ship with you. That is going to sink. So.
See, you have to beat your rivals if you are supposed to survive. So the most important thing here is they will be playing those that they are battling the relegation with. You just have to beat them to survive. So genuinely, I, as a journalist, I feel they will survive because based on what they've started doing, like you said, it will be difficult for you. They went to Basake. They got a draw there. They went to Doma. They got a draw. They beat Nations FC. So they just have to beat Samatex coming weekend. And they'll take it from because they're hanging in there. 24 points. When they win, they will have 27.
And currently 17th on the league table. Hoho United must do a lot. But let's talk about Kumasi Asante Kotoko. By the way, the game would be live on TV3 and on your TV on Sunday. Asante Kotoko Vision Kotoko are back to winning ways, but for the first time in a long while, their fans are not even talking about the win against Young Apostles. It looks like every conversation about Kotoko is dead now.
But Mutala, I think that if you look at the results from March 23, they can count themselves as the biggest winners because they closed the gap. The other title contenders couldn't win. Medeama didn't win. Aduana didn't win.
The funny thing is, Asante Kotoko are still within touching distance.
Well, of course, but you see, but the inconsistency and the performance does not give the fans the hope that they can challenge for the league title, and that is the reason.
No, Felix, it's just 7 points
No, I
between you and the
understand.
league leaders.
7 points with 33 points.
So why
to
are you
play
not
for.
hopeful that your club
But
can
like
still
the
challenge?
performance, the inconsistency, that is the issue. You understand? Yesterday, Sunday, they won against Young Apostles. They are playing against Vision FC. Trust me, it is Kumasi Asante Kotoko. They might go into that game and then drop 2 points. They might go into that game and drop maximum point. And that is the reason why most of the fans are saying that they would not be able to fight for the league title. And then again, I think that you look at their technical issues. You know, they've changed manager, they brought in Prince Owusu. Some are saying that Karim Zito left too early. They should have stayed for the Super Clash. And sometimes when you play against Hearts and Kotoko, when you are playing Hearts or you are playing Kotoko, when you suffer a defeat, it will take some number of games for you to get back onto your feet.
Number of wins.
Weeks or games. But for Kotoko, I think they've done quite well by winning that game
Against Young Apostle.
See, playing Young Apostle in Wenche is not an easy task at all. So for them to go there, keep a clean sheet, getting 2 goals and getting the maximum point, it's very, very good, especially coming back from that Super Clash defeat. So they can build on that. But I believe that the supporters to also not give up because mathematically they are still in the title race.
Would you bring in a substantive coach with 11 games to the end of the season to Asante Kotoko, or you would wait till the season ends, allow Prince Yaousu to be there?
Mutala, Kotoko won't be relegated. They are already out of the MTN FA Cup. In 11 games, I don't mind bringing in a manager. End the season, assess the squad that you have, and then you take us into next season. If you are to wait at the end of the season and bring in a new coach, Mutala, how many preseason games are you going to have? Probably after the World Cup, we are going straight into the start of the new season. It means that because there's a World Cup here, you won't have the opportunity to train with the squad the number of times you would want. You won't have the opportunity to buy in, new players and share your ideas or tactically how you want them to play in the next season. So bring in a new manager, even if it is 6-8 games to go, so that he'll be able to assess the team and a respectable position on the league log, and then go into next season improving on what you guys did this season. So there's nothing wrong if the club wants to bring in a new manager.
Like it, should Kotoko win that game against Vision, it could be a positive one for them because Heart of Oak are playing maybe any goal stars. Both teams are above Asante Kotoko, and Medeama are visiting Suedro. Should they put everything in this game against Vision? But Vision can be stubborn. They beat Asante Kotoko last season I think it was at the near J. Kraku Park.
And that made his Hearts of Folk to sign Abura Duku because he was brilliant in that game.
Sure, that was the
what makes you sure that that was the game? Why
he was brilliant in that game.
Hearts of Folk watch and
he showed calmness, composure, athleticism, everything. That was what.
So okay. If Aladi Akambi meets you right now, can you explain this to me?
I didn't mention anyone's name. Let me talk about.
Right.
Let me talk about Kotoko. See, for Kumasi Asante Kotoko, like Felix said, Wenchi is not an easy hunting ground for them, but they went there. They managed to win the game by 2 goals, and they kept a clean sheet in the game. That's the positive as well because they've been shipping in goals on their travels of late. They went to Heart of Land, got beaten, went to
conceded a lot. Yeah.
So it's been a problem, but you have to stop the rot at a particular point in time. They managed to stop the rot on the road. Now they are coming back home. They lost the Super Clash in front of a packed house in Kumasi in their last home game. Now they would love to build some momentum. Come back home. Vision FC, we've seen them. They can be giant slayers in the league. They went to Aduana, shocked everybody by beating Aduana at the Doma Park. They can pick. They beat Berekum United in their last league game at the Tema Park by 3-2. So players like Sanja, when you give them set pieces, they'll punish you. But for Kumasi Asante Kotoko, they just have to believe in what they were doing. Albert Amwa, he stepped up in the first games. He popped up with some goals. They thought he was going to build some momentum and show us flashes of the Albert Amwa that left for Libya. But in some of the games that he has played, we've not seen his individual brilliance in those games. Kwame Poku, one season for him to forget.
He came back to Asante Kotoko's side that were not really consistent with their performance. So it also, in a way, affected him.
It's a team business. So definitely, when you get into a culture, into an environment, it's either you will lift up the entire place or you also play in that same vein. And so far, it's been like that. They've been blowing hot and cold. And for Kwame Poku, I think this is West season, with his stint with Kumasi Asante Kotoko, both the first coming and the second coming. He has been off color. He doesn't really know. You don't really know exactly the Kwame Poku that you see on any given day. But this is a game that they have to make a statement to their fans and appease them. Because trust me, if they should go into this game on Sunday and fail to win,
is it a must win?
It's a must win for them. It will spark some unnecessary tension again around the team. Because, you know, the fans are not happy. And for them, like you said, in Swedru, anything can happen. In BBN, anything can happen. A win for them will take them to 41
Definitely
points.
hard to folk BBN Gold Stars, one will drop points.
Absolutely.
Both of them could drop 2 points.
2 points. So a win for them will take them to 41 points, and that will push them closer to Medeama and the top 4. So for them, they just have to continue from where they let off in Wenchi. And if you look at Kumasi Asante Kotoko against Vision, any day, with all due respect to Coach Nana Ajima and his team, that can be extremely awkward for any opponent in the Ghana Premier League. Kotoko always be fancied as the favorite to win the game.
Went to Doma to pick up 3 maximum points, so don't be surprised if they can do it. But Samuel Bodu, after the game against Heart of Folk, said that they need to start picking up maximum points, especially at the Golden City Park. He says that now that they have a player like Jonah Atukwe, there's that belief that they can chip in goals. This time they are playing Young Apostles. It's a Bono affair. I mean, I don't want to talk some, so I leave it to you. Yeah.
Mutala, it's been a very difficult season for Boedu and Berekum Chelsea. You know, with all his experience, a title.
Do you think the sale of Ankuna is also having an impact on them?
They're shipping about 5 players.
They sold a lot of players. Grogri has left for Aduana, Hubert Jehu left. What's the name? Stephen Amankona left.
They've even lost Kosi Soroto, the young midfielder. He has joined Bologna in Italy.
In Italy. So it's quite difficult for you if you are losing all these experienced players. Any team or any coach will struggle to get points, even away or home, with the squad that is available. And I think that it is one of the reasons why the owners of the club haven't sacked Boedu, because results were so bad. You look at where they are on the league low, but getting a point against Hearts of Folk, in Accra should be a very good start for them if they really want to survive. Gone were the days when the Golden City Park was a fortress for a lot of teams, but teams go there now and they believe that they can get a point against, Berekum Chelsea. But in a game like this, they're coming up against a team that lost at home in their last game, match week 23. It will be very difficult, but I think that Samuel Boedu should go into this game, very, very mindful that they need to pick up points. I love what I saw in Vincent Klueje, in Jonah Atukwe, and then Dominic Frimpong, the 3 fronts that they played against Accra. They were very mobile, they were very, very good. And if they should maintain that, they should be able to pick up the maximum points.
Now, Gates, this is one of the games where you put brotherhood aside. Because checking the position of the 2 teams on the table, it's just 1 point that separates them. Young Apostles on 16th position with 26 points. Berekum Chelsea 15th with 27. In these games, you forget that you are all from the bottom.
But it's also very important that in as much as you look at the league log, in the Ghana Premier League, it is head-to-head.
Yeah.
And we are in the second round. So you also have to be mindful of the results you had
in the first leg.
Yes, and that is where it might come down to head-to-head. So it shouldn't just be about winning against your other opponent that are within the same, like Francis said, the mini league of the bottom, teams. Yeah. So if you are in the drop fight against Redro, Young Apostles, and Dreams of Nations, you also have to be mindful of the results you got in the first
leg.
So
it's extremely important.
Not just
because
about
it's head-to-head that we use in the Ghana.
Mutala, if you look at this particular fixture, mind you, prior to match week 23, it was Berekum Chelsea who were in the last 3. So that draw against Hearts of Folk and that defeat to Kumasi Asante Kotoko actually swapped places. So now the winner of this game will swap the place of the other one again. Definitely. So this is what we call 6-pointers. You beat your opponent and you swap position with your opponent. So it's like beating the person, even though it's a 3 point, it ends at the end of the season, it will be like a 6 point for you. And these are the games that you live for when you are battling relegation. You just have to beat your opponent and get one better and move on to the next one. For this game, it will be tough. But if you look at Berekum Chelsea, like he said, in previous seasons, at their home ground, it's a no-go zone area. If, as an away team, if you go there and you manage to get a draw, it's a point game. Because almost all the time, you have to lose against them. But for Samuel Boadu, sometimes I've been saying, his stint with the local Black Stars sometimes takes him away from his job and it deflates his attention from the team. Now they are battling to survive the drop. Coupled with this shipping out about 4 or 5 players at the heart of the team, it will definitely cause you problems. Last season's top scorer of the Ghana Premier League, Stephen Amankona, definitely, if you take him away, who are you replacing him with? You look at Misaka Friye, who was with them. He also left to Medeama. Yeah. So it tells you that in terms of the attacking threat of the team, they've been crippled right from preseason. So what was the agenda going into the season proper? Because goals win you matches. Defensive units give you stability to build on to win games. And this season, they've not managed to be scoring goals and they are not keeping clean sheets. So that has been their Achilles heel. In the game against Heart of Lions, which happens to be their last home game, they managed to put Lion to the sword. Well, they came to Accra, managed to keep a clean sheet. So they are beginning to show you glimpses of grinding out results. And in this game, they will come out gun blazing on all cylinders and try to maximize exactly what they can do on the day to be able to get the 3 maximum points.
Now, fellas, let's look at the final game. It looks like the other 17 Ghana Premier League sides have had a meeting where they've actually had a conversation that if you allow 11 Wonders beat you, then you must also be relegated. 11 Wonders are coming up against nations. If I'm an 11 Wonders player, the most difficult thing that I will have would be the motivation to wake up and go onto the pitch and try to win a game. Because if I look at the table, it is very depressing.
Mutala, you have to be very realistic. What will be the motivation when you are not being paid salaries?
Winning bonus.
When you are not even winning games to get winning bonuses. So it is very, very tough. And I'm saying this because you've had coaches that have been there, coached the team, sat in this seat, telling you how the team struggle. There's been points in the season where they as home team did not even arrive early at the game that they are hosting.
Against Kotoko.
To even warm up. To even warm up. So it is very, very tough. I look at them and I see a certain Insuatrema who were not playing and giving points away last season. And that's exactly what they are doing. Like I said, I think that the decision by the owners of the club to bring an Techiman 11 Wonders team from Techiman, relocating the team to Accra to play, was going to be their downfall. And clearly, that is where they are. You can't play 23 games in the league and have 9 points and still believe that you have something to offer.
Well, I had the opportunity of speaking to Ignatius Fosu, who has coached the team before when Heart of Oak played at Asante Kotoko. I asked him the same issue, and he said the first icebreaker was bringing the team from Techiman to Accra. It's a no-no, and that killed the spirit of the team.
I think so. So, and you see, I love to see traditional teams in the league. I want to see community-based teams in
their traditional setting.
That you understand. So there's nothing wrong if there is change of ownership, but it is always. And you see, a lot of the team when Karela moved from Enyinasi to Tamale, they struggled until they had to build momentum.
And it's not even fully settled. They are still trying to.
And there's been examples of teams that have gone through that channel. If you look at when Asante Kotoko Royals qualified to play in the Ghana League, they didn't have a traditional home. They suffered and then they went back. If you look at Kando Heart of Lions, when the Kando Sports Stadium did not get club licensing approval, they were playing in Hohoi, they were playing in Sugar.
They were nearly relegated.
You understand? And I can even give you an example of Accra Heart of Folk. Heart of Folk have been inconsistent because they didn't have a stable home. There were points where Heart of Folk were playing home against Kotoko in Kumasi.
Yeah.
So it is always difficult. So for 11 Wonders, I think that they are now the Father Christmas of the league. They are dashing 3 points. So if you don't get 3 points, if you don't take your own share of the 3 points against 11 Wonders, you have no one to blame by yourself.
Well, that is it. I know what you are going to say about 11 Wonders.
11 Wonders. So. No. You see, the problem is sometimes you have to do certain how will I say, you have to do certain experiments and see if it will work. You have to test the waters. That's how we say it in local. Yeah. They didn't do that. They didn't do proper due diligence before they relocated the team. See, There are clubs that had change of ownerships, and the clubs still remain at where it was. Typical example is Mike Pando Heart of Lions. Yeah. When Randy Abe took over from Victor Ahiapo, the club through its days in Division 1 never moved from the Pando Sports Stadium. They played throughout. And when they qualified, they could have decided to relocate the club to Accra, because what does it mean for it to be, even in Division 1, they were training in Accra. On match days, they drive all the way back to Pando to play. In about 4, 5, 6 seasons before they qualify back to the Premier League. So it tells you, and the supporters identified by the club, they still support the club. That, like he said, when they had to reconstruct the new Pando Sports Stadium pitch, and they had to play Sugakope, they nearly got relegated. But the moment they went back to Pando before the commencement of the second round of the season.
Second in the league.
Look at what they did. They, on record, when was the last time a team finished the first round at the bottom of the league and survived relegation? It's only Heart of Lions. Yeah. That managed to do that 2 seasons ago. So it tells you that the home invisibility of the team and how its supporters get closer to the team plays a lot into the permutation of the final result that the team chalks at the end of the day. So for them, I think they will learn from this, and then they will. And shockingly, let me conclude with this. Legon Cities, who is in Division 1, same owners, they are the bottom of the league. Yeah.
Well, I had a dream of buying a team from my hometown, Zabzugu Tatale, and relocating to Accra. But with the history of
they should stay in Tatale and fight teams there.
These days, I find it a bit weird, maybe, to find Okowu United playing in Accra.
You go and play
because I expect Okowu United to be playing in Okowu and have the support. But it looks like that is where we are headed. But let's do some matters arising before we leave the studio. Now, this week, the issue of board has to be with Salim Adams. Ibrahim Tanko, the head coach of Medeama, was asked the question after their game against Samatex if he thinks that Salim is good enough to be in the Black Stars. And he says that, yes, he has a unique quality of his ability to hit the ball, and it's something that if the Black Stars have, it would help the team. If we are considering local players in the Ghana Premier League players this season to be part of the Black Stars, apart from Benjamin Asari, would you say Salim has justified himself a lot?
Well, I'll talk about justification when I look at where he's getting into the team. If you look at the Black Stars team, midfield has never been a problem. Yeah. You understand? The reason why we have Benjamin Asari as the Ghana's #1 playing the local league, because that department, the goalkeeping department, has been an area where we haven't had consistent performance.
An area of turbulence.
You understand? It is up for everybody. Benjamin Asari goes in and makes it his own. But if you are bringing in Salim, and I have to be very honest, and I've had this argument with Josiah, who also ran commentary on the league. I equally pick stats on the league. But even at Medeama, I would take Fuzi Taylor on any day above Salim. I think that Salim, when you talk about hitting the ball, striking the ball, that quality is there. He's one of the top performers in the league. But I don't think that in the Black Stars, he goes in there as a offensive midfielder or defensive midfielder. There are a lot of players in the national team that are playing outside of the country, that are playing in the Europe Top 5 League, that are playing Champions League football, that are playing Europa League football, that are better than Salim. I think that for me, he's been one of the outstanding performers in the league. By place in the Black Stars, I don't think he can get in.
Mutala, I bet to differ from Felix, because if you look at the Ghana Premier League, even in the twilight of the careers of Stephen Appiah, Michael Essien, Antonianan, Kevin Prince Boateng, in that 2010 FIFA World Cup qualifier.
What wisdom can you find that is greater than kindness? Jean-Jacques Rousseau.
Funeral announcement. Togbi Dukri Atiku the 5th